extraordinary individual. He is a futurist. He's advised many companies on how to restructure, reformat their programs and actually become very successful. And look, all that years and years of advice is being played out right in front of us in the Dacxi platform. And I'm very excited about what we're doing with Dacxi. And if you really understood what we're doing with Dacxi, you would be just about as excited as I am. So welcome, Ed. It's great to see you on the webinar. I appreciate it's 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday night in Auckland. And thank you very much. Looking forward to hearing more about Dacxi.
Yeah, it'll be great one day to eventually get to Australia. Like, I can't tell you how, look, I've been with my wife for 30 years and the only reason we survived is I'm normally away all the time. It's a disaster. We've been stuck in the same house for 6 months. I hope the bruises don't show too much. Yeah, and I need to get my backside to Australia and get some things done. But look, it's a joy seeing everyone. Good to see some old friends. As I said, I can't wait to see you guys again when all this chaos has finished. Look, the reason why I suggested to Squid that we had one of these AMAs, Ask Me Anything, is because I do get questions about what we're doing with the DAC Coin, how it relates to our future, what's the potential of it. The fact is that we've got the DAC Coin price rise next Tuesday, well, actually Wednesday, and the change in the DAC Pack with a reduction from 70 to 50% bonus coins happening afterwards. So you get 70% until the 23rd of September and then 50% afterwards. And so that's a lot, you know. It's a sort of over 100% different in value. And for me, it actually reflects a fundamental change in the evolution of this company. Some of you guys have been with us for a while, and you will know that we are, you know, we've always had this vision. I'm pretty sure that Squid, that what I talk about today hasn't really changed in the 3 years since I first talked to you about it. Yeah,
I like that fact. And 3 years, same story, yeah, totally different meaning. You know, 3 years, we were talking about crazy stuff, but now the world goes, wow, this is a really good idea.
Well, the reality is that we've been through a process. As I explained to people when I first started this thing, is that, you know, I am a futurist. I have sold more than 1 million books and spoke for, you know, for more than 20 years on conferences, on stages all around the world about what I think happens in the future. And it's a real interest of mine, and I'm pretty good at working out where things are going to go. Okay. And I always knew that the industry will evolve, because industries always evolve. And that was right in the middle of the hype of this first boom. And the next evolution of the industry was always going to be one which would take the value of the currency element of our business, of our industry. So if you look at the crypto industry, it has certain types. You have what are called the currencies, okay? And so those are your payment currencies, the store of values, they're the payment for the blockchain like Ethereum. It's the financial ecosystem currencies like the DAC Coin, but also exchange coins, or there's ones called Ripple. And all of these coins are the dominant coins at the moment. In fact, those 3 use cases make up the top 50 coins. All of the top 50 fall into those 3 categories. And those are now, what happens is in all industries is one part of your industry has a major growth spurt. And And we knew that was going to happen, and we knew it was going to be driven by major financial organizations. We knew that the major consumer organizations were going to come in. So when we heard that Visa and MasterCard and PayPal had pulled out of Facebook's project, I just laughed. I turned around to my staff and I said, they'll be back in. A year later, they make their announcement of how they're coming back into crypto, only because if you don't look at this industry as a bet, as a punt, okay? If you don't look at it like a punt, then you look at it for its value. And if you look for its value, you look at what real problems can this technology solve. And when you look at it that way, then what happens is that you understand where it really has value and where it doesn't, and who will win and who won't. Okay, and it's really, really simple. And so because I've been doing this for so many decades, is actually looking at new markets. You know, I was laughing, I was yakking to my staff. You know, I remember I was in the army, so I went to Duntroon in Australia. I was one of the Kiwis that was sent there. But when I came back in the army, it was in New Zealand, it was the 80s. I was in the engineers. And as I said to these guys, you know, I wrote my big paper that I wrote as a captain in the army was why we should have a computer. And my bosses didn't like me writing about that because they thought it was a total waste of time and it'll never happen. And so when I look at that and look through, you know, I remember taking Tony Robbins to Europe. My partner and I were Tony Robbins' agent. We took him to Europe, and everyone said, "Well, this guy will never succeed." I remember lecturing and people saying, you know, I'm saying, you know, e-commerce is going to come, and only 10% of people thought they would ever give their credit card to a website. You know, and it goes on and on and on. I was in telecoms in the 90s, and you know, I had a thing called a smartphone, and people say no one's ever going to use one of those. So I don't give a damn what anyone says about what they think is going to happen, because in my experience, pretty much nearly everyone gets it wrong, because they don't appreciate either the problems that are solved or the opportunities that are created. And Dacxi was always created basically to do two things. One is, as an organization, we wanted to make a difference. And because I have this background of what is now 30 years, being in the marketplace for new financial opportunities and helping the public understand new financial opportunities, I know how they respond to new financial opportunities, which is they always go, I can't do it and I don't understand it. And they talk like this and do nothing because they're scared. They lack the confidence to be able to do that. And so when I looked at crypto, and I'd been in it for you know, nearly a couple of years, and in 2017, and suddenly the crypto market started to boom again. And I just said, and I looked at the exchanges that were being offered to people. I looked at the language that people are saying, and I said, hey, look, this is wrong. They say, oh, they think they're going to get the mass market, but the people commentated were all geeks. They didn't know the mass market anyway. And just, they got it wrong. And as we said in the early days, people are just going to look at this as some sort of bet. It's credible. These things are assets. So they have the ability to impact wealth. So we had this wealth philosophy. We had this long-term philosophy a long time ago. And the markets, we're fortunate today that the market really still is stuck where I think 99% of people who buy crypto are just gamblers. And the latest research that comes out of the British government, which is the best research probably done anywhere in the world, showed that 99% of people who bought crypto were just having a punt. Because when someone puts 500 bucks in, they're having a punt. When everyone's turning around and saying, when everyone turns around and goes, well, only put in enough money that you can afford to lose. When someone says that, it says, go and have a punt. Because if you miss out, then hey, it's okay, you didn't lose anyway. And so all that language that people, because philosophically they don't understand the industry, so they think it's risky. And that's the classic thing, is the only reason you will ever think that crypto is risky is because you don't understand it. You don't understand it. And if you understand it, you would never think that crypto is risky. Crypto, compared to putting money in the bank or putting, or buying shares or buying property, is so less risky. Those things are so risky. Like I spent last week trying to work out how I can short the New Zealand Stock Exchange, and calling all my friends who run the largest stockbrokers in Australia and New Zealand, going, how the hell can I short this thing? This is going to collapse. And they're all going, what? And that's the point. So when you look at these things, you have to understand what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is to make a difference in people's lives by helping them build wealth. And we're going to rename the DAC Coin, because what happened, actually, it was Michelle. It was Michelle. For those of you that know Michelle, she made a really good point to Vicky, who told me about it, which is basically, you know, people need much more clarity around the DAC Coin. What does it really do? Because if you talk about 7 use cases, they get confused. But in reality, as an organization, that coin's purpose is it's a wealth building coin. It's a wealth building community coin. It's the only one in the world. It's the only one that is a currency for the only organization focused on helping people build wealth, where all the others are what's called transactional. You have a look at every other exchange, crypto exchange in the world, and I challenge you to find one differently. And what happens, they'll either be trading exchanges or they're what's called transactional. They'll have a really simple platform that will say, hey, we help you buy and sell crypto. Easy, simple. Okay? Now I ask you a question. When you think about what the person is doing, don't think about you as a platform. Don't think about, imagine this, you know, don't think about the company who's helping you buy and sell crypto. By them saying that, what they are saying is they are not focused on the customer, because if they focus on the customer, they would know that the customer's goal is not to buy and sell crypto. It's to use crypto to help them improve their life. Would you agree? It's the difference between a company that's customer focused, that's focused on customer success, would turn around and say, what is my customer really trying to do with this opportunity? Either one, they're looking to have a punt. Okay? This is a new lotto. Okay? Or two, and look, please understand, people have a punt on 10 grand. Like people say, oh, you know, a couple of $100. No. There's lots of people. They'll have a 10 grand punt. Okay? Most people it's less, but it's still, it's sort of money they can afford to lose. And or they're saying, hey, I want to improve my wealth. Okay? And if you want to improve the wealth, then you have to put enough money in that'll impact your wealth. Okay? And the only reason you won't do that is you don't understand it, so you think it's risky. And so us as an organization, the company is, we're a wealth company. We're a wealth building company, and all the language and all the new branding and all the things we'll be talking about that. And the DAC coin is fundamental in creating our ecosystem, which will help people build wealth. And that's it. That's what it's all about. And you're going to see a lot of really cool, you know, the exchange that's come out is just, people are raving about it. It's so simple, it's easy. We're making lots of changes. I've been writing training programs, and I just said, I'm not going to write a whole lot of detail. They can just go on the exchange and work it out. And if they can't work it out, then we need to work out how we fix it so they can work it out simply. It better be easy, otherwise it doesn't work. So that's always been, so at the moment, the next stage, we've split this development of the company into 2 stages. The first stage is basically for us is making a difference. It's building Dacxi to help people create wealth out of this new crypto boom. Okay, that's already started. You know, last year, crypto was the best performing asset in the world. This year, it's the best performing asset in the world. This boom started. It's just getting going though, but it's still the best performing asset class on the planet. And then our next stage, our bigger vision, is a lot of people have heard about, which is when we try and change the world. Okay, and we're going to change the world. We will already be creating platforms that will help our people build their wealth from this new area, which is crypto and what's called crowd investments. And so we got the big thing, the bigger vision is to change the world. And to change the world is not about spreading money around the world. That's just naive. The only way you change an individual's economy is you help them build wealth. Would you agree with me? Yeah? The only way is you build wealth, okay? The only cure to nearly all of the problems in the world is wealth, okay? The wealthiest, the countries with the best spread of wealth, like Switzerland and Norway, are the most stable. Would you agree? Okay? It's just it's not even a question really, it's a fact. When it comes to the world, the problem with the world is the wealth is not spread. And if you believe like I do, that it doesn't make any difference who you are, what color your skin, your race, religion, if you assume that the world, they're just as smart, just as talented, just as motivated to do stuff as anywhere else, what you actually have to do is you actually have to create a massive innovation tech industry in that country. I can tell you that Uganda has tons of fantastic innovative ideas. Now, it may not be apps or software. It may be in the area of agriculture. It may be agritech, maybe insurtech, it may be politech. There's lots and lots of opportunities. But the problem with these countries is that they can't fund a lot of the young opportunities. And the laugh is nor can Australia. The laugh is that Australia has an innovation gap that if you read about the innovation space, they spend their whole life complaining about it. And you know it's a big problem because the number one indicator of a weak innovation sector is the government putting a whole lot of money into it. Or your smart, innovative companies have to go offshore. Do you know how many thousands of Australians are in Silicon Valley? Okay. Remember Atlassian, which is an amazing company, was so weird. Atlassian, because it didn't go overseas, where all the other Aussie companies went off to the NASDAQ and all that sort of stuff. And it's just an indication of the problem with that. So I believe that we have the solution. And that solution is pretty complex. okay? But it's basically using new technology. You got to use this new blockchain technology, which is why the DAC coin is so important. But you build a global network of platforms, and then you link them all together. And then you have a system which basically processes opportunities such that if you're sitting there in rural New South Wales, okay, and you understand agri-tech, I don't understand agri-tech, but if someone, you know, a farmer's a farmer. If a farmer understands agri-tech, they've got plenty of dough, and if it's easy for them to invest, they will. And so long as they can trust the process, so long as they can buy and sell and get their money out, then hey, that's the sort of opportunities that'll do. And so that is the reason why the Dacxi economy, which sits underneath the DAC coin, can be measured in tens of billions of dollars. And if it's in tens of billions of dollars, because that's $1 trillion industry, which we will effectively be the catalyst for creating. And, you know, tens of billions of dollars through that marketplace means that the DAC coin will be worth dollars. And that's why when people ask me what's my vision for the DAC coin as an asset, I can say I feel comfortable saying $1, because I think it could be dollars. Okay, dollars. And it can be dollars because if you create a global innovation network where each country has the technology and ecosystem to be able to do it in that country, and then you link them together because you have this new global blockchain technology, and you have a coin which allows you to do that. So I always talk orthopedics because my father was an orthopedic surgeon, and you know, and orthopedics is orthopedics. Do you know what I mean? If a Mexican comes up with a great orthopedic idea, an orthopedic surgeon in Brisbane isn't going to give a damn about where that person is. They'll look at what the orthopedics or the medical tech is and go, that's a good idea. Well, if you're based in Brisbane, you can't invest in a company, an early stage company in Mexico, unless you have Dacxi's system. And so because it's all DAC coin, he can send $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that and put money and be associated with it. And so that's how you get every orthopedic surgeon in the world able to invest in orthopedic ideas and to fund the development of new things. And it doesn't make any difference whether you're talking orthopedics or whether you're talking aircraft parts or whether you're talking, you know, rice, you know, irrigation. You know, the world is full of brilliant ideas, which at the moment, you know, I was with the guy who had the largest development team in New Orleans, in Louisiana. And I was telling him this idea literally more than 3 years ago. And he said, Ed, you hear about Silicon Valley. He says, you can't get funding if you're in Louisiana. You can't get funding. It's only a few places in the States. He says, it's probably worse in Louisiana than it is in New Zealand, or it is in the UK. In the UK, our office is in the Oxford Centre for Innovation, which is controlled by the Oxford Trust, which is the largest innovation sort of providing infrastructure company in the UK. And the head of innovation of that, or director of innovation, she took me for lunch when we opened up the place and to see whether she could help us. And at the end of it, she said, so, okay, so you're going to help us, not the other way around. And I went, yeah, I think so. And she goes, there's a chronic problem in the UK where there's so many good deals and they just can't get the funding. Or if they get funding, a VC takes all the money, takes all the equity and takes all the power. We won't do that. And that's why, you know, when people look at what we're doing, they don't really understand it because we don't talk about the next stage. Because if we talk about the next stage, people forget about this stage now. Does everyone understand that? So our strategists and people like that, they turn around and go, Ed, that sounds really exciting, innovation, woo, 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 but don't talk about it. Because if you talk about it, it'll be too confusing for people. Just focus on the opportunity that's here and now. And that opportunity is such that, you know, this market, this crypto market, currently sits in US dollar terms for Bitcoin, you know, sits a little over 10,000. You know, the use case says it could be 100,000. Better than putting your money in the bank. Better than having, I tell you what, you want to put, you've got your money in the ASX. The ASX is propped up by two industries. One is banking and the other one is mining. So the world's going into recession. Do you think they'll need more or less commodities? Banking, you want to be in banking? I tell you what, if you own banking shares, you should know that the Sage of Omaha, the fantastic Warren Buffett, has just sold all his banking stocks. He's sold his Goldman Sachs and Citibank, just sold them all. And he's bought gold. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. How's your Westpac shares? No, and look, we don't want to speak negatively, but when it comes to, you know, when it comes to DAC and Dacxi and the things that we're doing, look, the DAC Coin will be listed soon, okay? And I'm just going to use the word soon because I can't give you an exact date. We published what we do to evaluate the when we actually list the exchange, because a list on an exchange. So for us, the sheer fact that we put the DAC Coin on external wallets, we did it not for fun, okay? We didn't do it because we had to do it, okay? We did it because you need to do that to list on an external exchange. And for us as an organization, we can't move into the second stage of our growth. What we have at the moment, we've got an exchange in Australia and we're about to have one in the UK. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build out exchanges all around the world. So by the end of next year, my goal is to have 100 platforms. So there'll be Dacxi Japan and Dacxi Poland and Dacxi Brazil and Dacxi, you know, Nigeria and Dacxi UAE and Dacxi, all these things. So when you go online, if you're based in Kazakhstan, there's Dacxi Kazakhstan, there's websites you can buy and sell and all that sort of stuff, and they'll all be linked, okay? And we have the technology to be able to do that. That's why we have the new exchange, we have new portals and all that sort of stuff being launched and everything. So we're moving into right at the stage where we're launching what we call version 2, which is the platform that will be duplicated. As I said, the goal is to try and hit 100 platforms by the end of next year. So literally, it won't matter where you live in the world, you'll be able to access a Dacxi for you, okay? And so that's what we're really about. So we need, for that to happen, we need a DAC coin that is traded, okay? It's externally traded. We can't have this situation. So, but for us, the important thing to understand about us listing the DAC coin, the thing is that we need that coin successful. So it's for us, it's a matter of we need to list it for the marketplace to be positive, you know, and all these things have to be in place. You know, the market has to be positive. It's not positive enough today. It's not positive enough to list the coin. Do you understand? You need to list an asset in a rising market, And at the moment, the market is going along like this. So we're doing all the work to be ready for that sort of thing, but there's a process that you have to go through with listing. And for us, it's very important that we have the positive message about our international expansion has to be in place at the same time. So we're doing all that now. Before that, we have to stop the DAC Pack. I will be very surprised if we sell the DAC Pack in 2021. Okay. Hint, hint. Okay. But again, you know, again, people like to buy it, you know, so yeah, that's, so what else can I, that's sort of it. Do you have it? So this isn't ask me anything and all I've done is talk. So you sort of need to ask me a question to justify the name. So what do you want to know? I always think it's important. I always think it's important to get a really good feel for how these things are working. Okay, you know, if we want you right now to, you know, to really talk to people to ensure they get the opportunity of getting this DAC coin. Like, let's be honest, it's going to be, you know, effectively the value proposition will be, you'll get half the value if you buy a DAC coin, buy a DAC pack in October. So if people are looking to do things, they should do it now. Okay. And please stop hassling me I'm getting people saying, you need to delay, you need to delay. I'm not delaying the DAC price increase. Okay. And I'm not going to have the number of price increases that I initially planned to do either. And you got to understand that the market has gone up somewhere between 80 and 100%. We've only increased the DAC coin by 27% this year. I could have increased the price, especially with all the things that we're doing. You know, I could increase the price by probably 50%. And you don't even know what I'm launching in October. If you knew what I was launching in October, you won't. Even Squid doesn't know.
Who's got a question? You got to ask a question. This is, yeah, Rob's got a question. He's always, where's D? D, she's always got questions. You got to think of a question. Carry on.
I've got a
Rob.
question.
No, Rob's first.
Hi, Rob.
Okay,
Rob's
here I
first.
go. I get to jump in. It's a very simple question. I think Andrew could probably answer it easily, but my friend would be interested. We just had a difference of opinion. I said that you cannot use the DAC coin at the moment, and he said he thinks he could use the DAC coin to purchase Ethereum or some of the other coins.
No, you can't, because it's the no. It's look, Ethereum or Bitcoin, or whether it's Ethereum or Bitcoin or Aussie dollars, you're still exchanging one asset for another. It still requires that sort of thing. So no, you can't.
Yeah, I thought that was the case, but I just wanted to have the authority of you to be able to tell him.
That's not a difference of opinion, Rob, at all. He's just wrong.
No.
Yeah.
You know, he's just wrong. And look, we come across people who have what you would say is a difference of opinion all the time.
Yeah.
And you just have to say that, look, you're wrong. You can't create wealth with shares. You're wrong. You know, the housing market is going to go to pot. You're wrong. The only way you can protect your wealth is with 3 asset classes. And you probably don't have any of those 3 yet. You're wrong.
Yeah, look, I tell you what's a really good thing. It's like I quite like this guy, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think he gets a bit fierce sometimes. And if you're not into podcasts, I tell you what, now's a really good time. I haven't been that big into podcasts. I'm probably going to do my own one soon. But the point is that I think he makes a lot of sense. He's got a lot of people who make a lot of sense on there at the moment. And for them, it's gold, silver, Bitcoin. They keep it pretty simple. And, you know, Bitcoin is, or crypto, because they don't understand it. They don't understand that blue chip cryptos are perform, will have done over the last couple of years. You know, our bundles performed 100% better than Bitcoin. So if you just bought Bitcoin versus buying a bundle, because the bundle has the blue chips, because it's portfolio, it's actually less risky than Bitcoin, and it performs 100% better. And if you had a bundle that had 10 coins or 30 coins in it, from the top 10 or the top 30, it wouldn't perform any better, and it's not as simple, so it's not as good. Actually, that bundle, the laugh is, Squid, did you know that next week is the anniversary of us sitting in that cafe in Cairns and me going, what about this for an idea? Which is the bundle thing, which was just simply a matter of for us, it was a matter of what would I want? If my mother wanted to buy crypto, what would I tell her to buy?
And guys, that's how it happened.
Yeah. And literally that's how it happened. And I was going, what if we did this? And no buggering around. A lot of these things, they turn around and go, oh, we're going to change the percentages to the market. It's just a load of rubbish. Like, you know, you're just not going to get, there's no performance requirement out of that sort of stuff. There's no performance because none of these guys know. Like if you listen to all the gurus talking about, or the people who think they're gurus talking about where the crypto market, they're always getting it wrong. Always. Okay? The only thing we know is what is the value, what is the expected value proposition from these coins, okay? We know which are the coins that the major organizations are promoting, okay? We know what are the major coins that are being promoted, okay? So we can see that Starbucks is doing this, that Amazon is taking these coins, that Fidelity is taking those coins. We just know what are the major coins, that, you know, what are the digital banks, which cryptos are they promoting? So which are the ones that are going to get the new money? Not all the trading money, that's not new money. I mean the new money. The money that actually will drive the prices up of those assets, and those are the ones. So, you know, what's it going to be? Well, you know, I can imagine Ethereum at a couple of thousand, okay? Because it's just going crazy so much at the moment. I can imagine Bitcoin at 100,000. And I don't know whether it's 80,000 or 100,000 or things. When it starts getting up there, you want to be selling stuff anyway. Litecoin, you know, Litecoin's silver to Bitcoin's gold. It's smarter, it's faster. It has really good support, and the big boys are buying it. So, you know, anyone who tells you that they have a better view on that, bullshit. Absolute bullshit. It's bullshit. All they're trying to do is to sell you some YouTube channel. Okay? And there's no value in buying any of the other coins. If you actually have a look at, I've studied these coins for years now. I have statistical charts and spreadsheets where I study these coins to see, is it better? Okay, and it's not. I've done the research recently. It's not. So it makes it pretty simple, you know. Makes it pretty simple about what people are doing. You know, your bets have to make sense. Do you know what I mean? You got to relate to them. It's like the guy Warren Buffett. He's always laughed at for not buying tech companies. Yet they call him the great guru. Yet he missed the whole digital boom. Okay, and he's just buying Apple. Like, how stupid is that? And it just shows how non-tech. But the point is is you've got to respect the fact, you know, he's 90 years old. His other advisor, Charlie Unger, is 96. You can't expect him to understand tech. He doesn't understand tech. So he made 80 billion investing in something else. Oh dear, Lord, he might have made 100 billion. Like, who gives a crap? Like, you got to focus on what people understand. And to me, I get that. And that's why the DAC coin, it's like, I hope people get it. I hope people get it. It's like, you know, our coin is based on our economy. So it has real uses and therefore it has value. And it's hard to explain the really big vision, but, you know, it doesn't have to go up much to be worth putting, you know, value into it. So come on, other questions.
Ed,
Hi,
can I ask, when the DAC Pack goes, we'll still be able to buy the DAC coin, and there will be a price variation, obviously. So like your dollar cost averaging, if I buy it at $1 and it's going to still go up, I'm still gaining.
Oh yeah, look what happens. It's a currency, okay? It's a currency for our world. Look,
Yeah.
I don't know what these other companies are going to do. Look, Bitcoin, it will hit. What will happen is Bitcoin will go through its next hyperbolic move, and the value of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and coins like that, they will have hit a level, and they'll sort of be like a currency. Like, no one's turning around and going, "Ooh, you got to buy the Aussie dollar. It's a great speculative investment." It's just a normal trading. You know, the people who buy that sort of stuff are trading. Do you know what I mean? There's not like the hyperbolic move that it has today. Once that happens, you have to be pivoting into another area, which is why the whole innovation space is important for us. Okay, so, you know, it's the key with most of these things is you just got to buy. You got to buy what makes sense today. Tim, if you ever met Tim, Tim has a wonderful saying. He said, "Ed, the market is perfect today. So it is what it is today." You know, and so, yeah, you know, the point is with this is that, you know, with the DAC coin, we've been in the market for a couple of years now. Do you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for a pretty unstable market, so don't forget, crypto went down all of the last half of last year. Do you know what I mean? The first quarter was flat, next quarter was up 350%, and the next 6 months was down. Okay, so don't think it was like, ooh, so positive all the time. That's just bullshit. Okay, this year we thought, oh, it's going to go up, so it went up 43% the first 6 weeks. Yay! COVID, blah, crashed, and then has gone up. It's gone up by more than 100% since the bottom of the crash. But it's up, as I said, the market's up 70-80% on the year. Has been actually up over 100% on the year. So no, it's good. It's good, you know. Like, let's be honest. If your share market portfolio was up 70%, we wouldn't be able to shut you up. Correct?
Yep.
If property was up 70%, we wouldn't be able to shut you up. You'd be buying the booze, and you'd be buying the round, which is pretty rare for a South Australian.
Well, that's a good one.
Got that one in.
You squeeze that one in.
Yeah.
From a New Zealander to stick it to a South Australian. That's pretty.
I'm drinking a German beer at the moment, actually.
Good Lord, that's against the law, I thought.
Yeah. Hey, look, guys.
Just one other question before Andrew gets his word in and keeps there. The DAC coin is actually a convenient way of transferring value across the world, right?
Yeah, and that'll be its real power. It'll allow us. Look, it'll allow us to be able to have a global affiliate program. Okay, it'll allow us to be able, as I said, it'll allow that guy sitting in Brisbane to be able to invest money in an opportunity in another country, and then be able to sell their asset and then repatriate the money back without ridiculous, the ridiculous banking systems or really the sort of trust systems you need to have. And to be, for us also to be able to offer companies who are looking to raise capital, to allow them to have, attractive offers. Like if you're, as an example, if you're the company is based in Mexico, it's in medtech, it's gone through the Dacxi system, it's had independent people who are trusted by Dacxi, who think it's a great opportunity, and they're under orders that they have to take 25% of their capital in DAC Coin. And because there's the Dacxi world, if you know anything about raising capital, the first tranche of value of money that you raise when you're raising money, you normally raise at a discount. Do you know that? I don't know if you've ever raised money. What happens is when they're raising money, normally they raise the first sort of money at a discount. Well, they can offer that around the world to all the DAC coin holders, and then all the tidal wave of cash comes in, and
That I have to confess I don't understand well yet.
Oh, look, it's just a simple matter of, understanding the way the real capital markets works. Okay. And
Yeah.
that's the key. You just got to, like when people say, oh, well, these new opportunities listing. Well, I'm probably one of the, I've listed on these secondary markets, these small entrepreneurial stock markets. I've listed two companies in London, both of them very successful, one of them the most successful one ever. So, and you just have to understand the market. It's just because I just have that interest and experience. And if you don't have that, therefore it's just simple to, when you work out what the problems are, with all these things, it's just about, tell me about the problem you're solving. Tell me about the problem. We're launching a unique exchange called the AVX, the Australian Venture Exchange. It'll solve liquidity for venture assets. And it's just all part of the stuff that we're doing. But as I said, it's all that crap will give value to the DAC coin because it'll make a system that works. And so we've already done all the technology, and that's the important thing. Okay, you have technology, customer technology, marketing technology. We've just spent 2 years building technology that would take other companies probably a year to catch up on us. Because we built it from the start. We have all the software to do all that sort of stuff. So all the coding has all been written from the start. All the tech and coding guys have been with us for 2 years. They built it. So
can I add to that? They're not going to replicate what we've done, because the coders, all the people who are super active in cryptocurrency are not aren't building stuff for the people that really have a wealth creation problem. The wealth creation problem is not with someone that's 25, because they're blissfully unaware of how to create wealth. They haven't created wealth before, and they're probably unlikely to create the wealth that we have. We have done very well for the last 30 plus years in wealth creation. And unlike some people, I want to hold on to that wealth. I don't want a system or a monetary change to rob me of the effort and sweat that I put in for the last 30 years in creating the wealth that I have. And some of you, we don't do it for 40 or 50 years. So Dacxi's designed a system all around long-term wealth creation, specifically designed for people who have gray hair.
We're the only company, we're the only crypto company in the world that focuses on people over 40.
That's right. So we have the wealth, we have the most to lose, and if we don't do something more actively about protecting it, we will lose the most. If you've got nothing.
You want to hear something amazing? There's stats on the amount of wealth, the percentage of wealth held by generations in the United States. So millennials, who they all rave about, millennials this, millennials that, they hold only 3.4% of all the wealth in America. 3.4. Baby boomers, so people like me and older, because I was born in 62, so baby boomers hold 63%. Now, if you were in the wealth development business, Generation X, so those are 40 to 57, 41 to 57, they have, I think, 27% of the wealth. So who gives a crap about millennials? Who cares about 23-year-olds with an app who are really excited about XYZ coin? Who gives a shit? All right. If you want to be in speculation, focus on those young fellas. If you want to be in the wealth business, focus on the people who actually have the damn wealth. Okay, and they're aged 40 and over. They either want to build wealth or protect wealth. Okay, they like to build wealth. When you're older, you want to build wealth, but you really want to protect it. Okay. So it's not rocket science. And look, for us, I'll be honest with you, it's been a journey for us to develop the systems to be able to do this effectively. We think we have that now. When you see the new stuff, as you see the stuff coming out at the moment, I think you'd agree that it's a whole new version of this, of the platform. We have a lot of exciting things happening from October onwards. And that'll be our time. You know, for some companies, it takes them time. You know, what people don't realize is that, you know, social media, it was all about your MySpaces of the world for quite a few years. And then Facebook just had a better solution that was suited what the market really wanted with the technology. And so it kicked ass. Okay. You know, I see what people have at the moment and I wish them all the well. It's a big marketplace, but I don't think they have what the market really wants, what it wants and what it needs. Okay. And it's as simple as that. You know, people talk about smartphones. I was one of the first users of smartphones, and the king of smartphones was BlackBerry and Nokia. But they didn't get it right as far as what the customer really wanted. So then two companies in 2007 who had never been in the mobile phone industry ever suddenly took over, and it took them 1 year to really kick ass for Apple's iPhone and for Google's Android. That was the end of it. It's not rocket science. Do you know what I mean? It ain't rocket science. Like Google didn't pioneer search, but within 1 year, the whole market had switched to Google because they had what the customer wants. Like, with all due respect, what the Australian person really wants. Over 40, I don't really care too much under 40, okay? We have the solution for them, but if they're over 40 and, you know, people are over 40 want to build and protect wealth. Would you agree? If they don't, they're stupid and you don't want them as a customer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want every Australian as a customer because I suspect there's probably about, I don't know, 60, 70% of them are dumb. They're just dumb. So they either have no money or they either have no money or they just go, I'm sure my pension, my super fund will be looking after me. Those nice guys at Westpac.
Hey guys, we're rocking up to the hour, and I think we should pull a pin for the night. But look, if you check out Ed's LinkedIn profile, it does say that he's a futurist. Now, one of the things that I must reiterate to all of you is just look at what Dacxi's created in 3 years. We haven't changed our story. I got involved because of equity funding 3 years ago, right? Simply that. We have been saying the same thing about the market for 3 years. We have not changed literally a word. The only thing has changed is our tech. Our tech can handle people not being able to upload a freaking photograph on the internet. Our tech can handle, I don't know what a Bitcoin is. Our tech can handle any problem that you've got. 3 years ago, we didn't even have an exchange, but we were saying the same story. So Ed, unbelievably so, has positioned Dacxi to take the maximum advantage of what's happening right now, and actually a bigger advantage of what's happening in 2021 and beyond. If you don't understand that, then you really need to look more into Dacxi and have some conversations around what Ed has created. And because of his influence in his administration team, because they wanted to run off and make a trading exchange that looked fantastic with lots of graphs and lines and buy and sell orders, which would have confused the out of me and you as well. But we've got a really good platform designed for us to create long-term wealth. How he's done that in the last 3 years is beyond me, but the positioning of Dacxi to take advantage of Corona, of a depression, and a rebirthing of the economy is truly phenomenal. And you guys are on that journey with me. I'm very grateful for Ed. I'm very grateful for the admin team of Dacxi. And I'm even more grateful for everyone that's joined the webinar tonight, and for you to share it with as many people as you can in the next week, the next 6 months, and 5 years and 10 years, because it doesn't matter when you get involved with Dacxi, you are going to make money. You're going to protect your wealth, and whatever's left over, you can give to your children and your grandchildren and beyond. It depends on what you're motivated to achieve. So thanks, Ed.
I'm grateful.
I really appreciate what you've done for me.
Appreciate it.
And what you've done for everyone else. And even Grant, I'm grateful for what you've done for Grant down in South Australia.
Yeah.
Look, guys, the other thing I want to tell you is that remember to tell for those ladies here and for the rest of you, make sure you get everyone on the Woman Who Crypto webinar tomorrow. Okay, the Woman Who Crypto webinar. It should be fun. These girls are really focused on that, and it's an important part of our space. The reality is the investment world and the crypto world especially is very, very, very is very male orientated, and you know, we want to make sure that we empower the women so they can look after us when we're old. We want that to be, look, and these girls are really excited about it. I'm sure it'll be an absolutely fantastic event. We want to, you know, they have a different story, they have a different confidence profile, and that's why this is important, why we invest in it. But guys, I hope I've asked your questions, right? Yeah, have I answered your questions?
Yep.
Does it all sound cool? Sound exciting? Do you know what to say to people? For God's sake, from now till you got a week, go and tell a whole lot of people. See how that, at least find out how they respond. Okay. Yeah.
Ed, one of the things I just wanted to say that I've woken up to over the last probably 2 to 3 months is just how fundamentally different the Dacxi software and IT is from all the other exchanges we're commonly used to.
Hopefully that means it's better.
A lot better. Yeah.
Means that better. Oh, look, you know, I think what the guys have done is really cool, because they, you know, there's behind the scenes, everything we do is a lot more complex, because we are, you know, going to put this out into, you know, has to go out into 100 different platforms, and has to be able to accept a whole lot of other weird stuff that they don't have to do. You know, most of them, some of these guys just literally, all they need is a website, a really, really simple platform that just links into something else. And, you know, and that's how these things can grow. But for us, it's a little bit different. So I'm glad for that. Look, guys, the critical thing is to now get excited about what we're doing. Make sure we get as many ladies as possible for the Women in Crypto tomorrow. And yeah, and if you have any issues, please come to us. Talk to the guys who will support it, because from now on, the big thing is you know, we want to have a really spectacular, you know, end of the year. From now to the end of the year, we really, really want to kick ass. It's for us, it's our time. So cool. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. That was awesome.
All right. Good night, everyone. I look forward to catching up with you guys at
Cheers.
another webinar. Catch you on the Sunday night.
Bye.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Ed. Legend.
Thanks, Ed.
Everything.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, Ed. Good night.
Pleasure. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.